What's going on, y'all? And welcome back once again to the Pound for Pound Boxing Channel. I'm your boy Mag. Big news coming out of Riyadh season today, as there are talks of a two-fight card deal between the notorious Conor McGregor and pound for pound boxer Terrence Bud Crawford. One in the octagon and one in the ring. But the real question is, will fans be intrigued to watch this fight? As usual, I'll be handing this over to my co-host. Now, let's talk boxing.
Back to the Pound for Pound Boxing Channel. My name's Eric.
And I'm Alex.
And we got big fight news today, as we are hearing rumors coming out of Riyadh season. It is listed that Conor McGregor will be fighting Terrence Crawford, possibly in a big epic two-fight deal. One being in boxing and one in MMA, possibly the UFC. What do you have to say about this?
I got to say, man, I'm very disappointed. You know, we got Boots on the table for Crawford, but unfortunately, he doesn't want to fight Boots. You know, for his legacy, he's always talking about a big game. He wants to fight these big fights for his legacy, and honestly, he's looking for a gimmick fight, and he's looking for a money fight, you know?
Well, if you really think about it, we know Crawford's already made his legacy. You know, he's one of the very few, only him and Alexander Usyk, who are two-time undisputed champions in two different weight classes. So that already means a lot. But I do understand, you know, being a boxing fan, us as boxing fans, we always want to see the number one guy versus the number two guy. And in this case, of course, we'd want to see Terrence Crawford fight Jaron Boots Ennis. But let's be honest, he's not going to fight the guy. If we always talk about Canelo ducking Benavidez, let's be honest, Crawford's doing the same thing.
Now, what disappoints me is that, you know, he's not really... The thing about this, it's just all for show. He just wants the money. And unfortunately, Turkey wants to pay for this fight, you know, and it's just not that... No fan has asked for this. No one was asking for this type of fight, and that's what really disappoints me.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it like that, you're right. But I think more than anything, Terrence Crawford just wants to take a big payday and, you know, retire from the sport. We know he is getting a little bit older, and he has been calling for that Canelo fight. Although I don't think he's going to get it, because we've heard in multiple interviews Canelo saying that he isn't going to fight Crawford. He doesn't want the fight. He's too small. I think Crawford's losing hope. And I think him and Turki Al-Sheikh have a very close bond, and they know not only would that fight sell millions, but it's something that the public would be interested in. Now, as boxing fans, like I said, we would just want to see Crawford fight the best boxers in his weight division. But at the same time, for the casuals out there, you know, they're going to enjoy seeing him fight Conor McGregor in boxing. And not just that, again, they might fight in MMA too, which would be a big fight, because we don't always see boxers going into the octagon.
Yeah, but let's be honest, that ain't going to happen. Crawford ain't going to enter no octagon or anything. What's really going to sell this fight is the press conferences. They're going to go boxing first and sell that, oh, yeah, we're going to go in the octagon right after. Just like Floyd Mayweather when
Paul.
And Jake Paul's talking to Conor McGregor saying that they were going to go to the octagon right after. Crawford is smarter than that. He ain't going to answer no octagon, because he knows he'll get destroyed by Conor.
But I think the difference is between Crawford and Mayweather. We know Crawford's known to be a good wrestler. I might be mistaken, but I think he did do wrestling in high school, which isn't that big of an accolade. But regardless, everybody knows that Crawford is a strong guy. He does have some background in wrestling, you know, so there is a difference. Plus, Conor McGregor hasn't fought since 2021. It's been 3 years since this guy was last in the octagon. So that really brings me to the question, if these two fights were to happen, who would have a better opportunity to win in the opposite fight? I believe that Crawford would have a better chance to beat Conor McGregor in the octagon than McGregor to beat Terrence Crawford in the boxing ring.
Yeah, but those are huge statements. We don't even know how Crawford would even react in the octagon, because
he's never felt the kicks.
High school boxing is different from professional wrestling and everything, all that. I mean, what is it called? It's just completely different.
No, and you're completely right. They're both novices to the sport. You know, you could say at least McGregor's challenged himself in fighting Floyd Mayweather, but to be honest with you, Mayweather was just playing with him until he decided to,
now,
how do you
think the Crawford fight would go? You know, if this was Conor McGregor 7 years ago when he fought Floyd, it might have been a little bit.
He would have gotten a little bit of more fight.
Yeah, a little bit. But this is washed up Conor that hasn't even fought in almost 3 years? A roid
rage movie playing Conor McGregor.
Exactly. So I just don't think that it would present that much of a threat.
It wouldn't.
It would just be a fight just to keep Crawford busy, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, obviously in boxing, we know I believe that if they were to fight in boxing, Terrence Crawford would just dominate. I think he'd knock Conor McGregor out.
He'd play with him a couple
Conor
rounds.
McGregor's a tricky southpaw, I guess, but to be honest with you, Mayweather didn't really fight him. He was walking towards him the whole time. He wasn't really taking him too serious. Crawford's a switch hitter with power in both hands. I'm sure that he would knock out Conor McGregor out of the water. But, going back to the UFC topic, obviously if they were to go into the MMA, I'm not an idiot. Of course, Terrence Crawford would get dominated by McGregor. There's a lot of more specialties in the fight game when it comes to the UFC and MMA.
Two very different sports.
Like I said, if this were to happen, maybe right now nobody cares for it, but I guarantee you once the press conferences come around, once the tickets getting sold, Conor McGregor is one of the best athletes to ever have a mic in his hand. They're going to sell the fight regardless. They're going to make it seem like the best guy in the MMA versus the best guy in boxing. And obviously Riyadh season's backing it up. We know they're great when it comes to commercials and they put a bunch of money in their fighters. So we know it would still be a mega event.
Yeah, it's like I said, I'm already disappointed by we even having talks about this gimmick type of fight.
No, and I completely understand it, man. Like I said, we all want Crawford to fight the best out there, even if it's not Canelo. Fight Draw and Boot Sennis. With Conor McGregor, I'm not that big of a UFC fan, but I'm sure the MMA fans would say they want him to go back in the octagon and fight the best guys there. But it just seems like to me that these guys are both old. They just want to get their money. They want to live lavish, and they just want to rest. And you can't blame them for that. Just as us fight fans, we prefer them to see the fight the best.
Yeah, but I can't blame them. There's a reason why we should blame him is because Crawford's pound for pound.
That's true.
Why is he fighting a gimmick fight when he's only coming off like two big casual wins, against Spence, that was a big fight.
And let's be honest, he didn't even look good against Madrimov. So you could even
looked good. Let's not get it twisted.
You could challenge to say that Crawford didn't look good against Madrimov, and why would he go into a gimmick fight like this knowing that his last performance wasn't the best?
Yeah,
I would have understood maybe if it was after the Errol Spence win, because obviously that would bring even more fans to Terrence Crawford. A lot of UFC fans would transition into boxing and support Terrence Crawford. But, after him having a lackluster fight that didn't sell all that well, I heard, it just doesn't make sense for him right now. I think Crawford should really fight, the champion at 154. I just believe that this is a gimmick fight.
Now, in a sense, for Conor McGregor, he should fight someone like another bum, like KSI, or like freaking Jake Paul. Why is he fighting the pound for pound great right now? It's just disappointing.
It's all about money. Money makes the world go round, and the more money, the more problems, and we know that. But let us know what you guys think. Are you guys willing to pay the $100 to come watch the pay-per-view fight between Conor McGregor and Terrence Crawford? Or do you guys just think it's a gimmick fight and they should both stay in their respective sports? Thank you guys once again for tuning in. My name's Eric.
And I'm Alex.
And I'm your boy, Mag. Thank you all once again for tuning into the Pound for Pound Boxing channel. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we're out.